Well, ladies and gentlemen, and Davey, finally finished up our standard frequency generator after gathering all the parts from China and an outfit up in Thief River Falls called DigiKey. And after a few adjustments and a lot of screwing around, a few modifications here and there, why it's running great. And as you can see, I've got it set for our 35.767 kilohertz output signal right now, and you can see from our frequency counter that, baby, that's right on the button, 35.767, because we're locked into 5 satellites right now. Lower right hand corner there, you can see satellites equal 5, and the L means that it's locked to the GPS satellites, which gives us a pretty accurate frequency standard, if I do say so myself. This thing's causing me a problem here, I think, but I don't want to turn it off because it's gives me plenty of light here. Alright, this one is using the rigid plastic keyboard rather than the membrane keyboard. And we've got GPS mounted here. It should be mounted, I suppose, in a socket, but I soldered it directly to the board along with the Arduino, which is the master controller. It's a little teensy computer that runs this whole show. And I did that so I'd have clearance there if I wanted to put in a 4-line display, modify the program to use 4 lines. Right now I've got it running with 2 lines. Let's enter another frequency. We do that by tapping the A button. Well, first we have to get out of the GPS loop. So we hit the asterisk. Now we're back to normal mode. We'll hit the A key. And we can key in a new value. Let's give it maybe, let's give it 5 megahertz. Let's see what happens to our signal on the scope. 5 megahertz. Hit the B key to enter it. Alright, we're running at 5 megahertz. See what we have on our frequency counter. Right on the money there, 5 megahertz. Once she settles in, 5001, but it's right at 5 megahertz. Counter's not exactly 100% accurate anymore, but it's close. And let's see, let's do auto setup on the scope. See what we get for there we go. There's our square wave, which is a little distorted, which we knew it would be. That's because we're not really conditioning it the way we should, but it's good enough for, well, it's really good enough for a frequency reference standard. That's exactly at 5 megahertz. See if we can see it up there. Scope also measures the frequency internally, gets it pretty close. 5,000,002 hertz it says it is. And we're saying 5,000,001 hertz over here, but that's because these instruments are doing that. It's exactly on the button. I measured it on against my frequency standard earlier, the rubidium standard. Now let's take a look at that wave. We'll go back to lower frequency. We'll go to back to our 35.767, which I think old TV servicemen will recognize that frequency. And we'll hit the B key to enter it. Alright. And we'll hit the auto setup button on the scope. I love that feature. There we have a really nice square wave. Looking really good. So you get below 3-4 megahertz, a square wave is pretty good. Once you get above that, you're getting into some pretty high RF frequencies, and we need to do maybe a little more work on that signal. But like I say, this is designed to be a frequency standard. As long as the frequency is correct, we're not really too interested in what the actual square wave looks at. It's enough to calibrate our equipment. So that's what I'd call a successful project. Okay, took long enough. Oh well, what else do I have to do? Anymore hang out at the bars and chase women, I guess. That can be disastrous if Marlene catches me doing that, so I just stay down here and let the women come to me. I'm still waiting. It's going to be a long wait, I'm afraid. Okay, there you have it. Davey, you can pick your counter up in your generator standard up anytime now. Have to figure out a case to put them in, but I'm not much for the pretty factor on this stuff. As long as it works, provides a needed function, why it's fine with me. Just throw it in the box with all the rest of the stuff, and away we go. All right, the end.